told them they need to post the guy over here. I told them that the Secret Service
started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the NGLA podcast. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. And if y'all want more dope content, make sure y'all hit that notification button for me, please. I do truly appreciate all the support. So today is July 13th, and it's the anniversary of the Trump assassination. So, you know, they want to sweep it under the rug, but we're going to recap the whole, assassination attempt and everything that's with it. So let's get straight into it. Oh, also, we're going to be talking about Candace Owens being right when she went on Piers Morgan and Piers Morgan was saying that she had no evidence of the president of Paris. I forget his first name, but I know their last name is Macron, and that his wife was a trans, and that she is really a he. And there's evidence that proved that Candace Owens was right. And also, this Epstein situation is getting all the attention that I guess everybody wanted to get, because everybody is talking about these Epstein files. Me personally, I thought it was kind of like one of those situations that obviously was serious, but wasn't going to be to this extent to where they are like literally pushing for Donald Trump to release these files unredacted, and it's crazy. So, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk sat down with Meghan Kelly, and they gave some interesting information about this whole thing. So let's get straight into it with this Trump assassination situation. Let's go.
I told them they need to post the guy over here. I told them that the Secret Service
Started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Can you believe it's been 1 year since President Donald Trump was shot on stage at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania? Since then, we've heard about Secret Service failures, and Trump was elected for his second term in the White House. Let's take a look at that fateful rally and everything that came after the attempted assassination.
A political rally turned into a crime scene.
This is a big crowd. This is a big, beautiful crowd.
As the former president spoke to his supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania Saturday, gunshots ripped through the air. Donald Trump seen reaching for his ear before dropping to the ground. Secret Service immediately rushing the stage to surround him. Screams heard in the crowd. Go. After a few tense moments, the former president on his feet, blood spattered across his cheek and ear, Trump giving a fist bump as Secret Service whisked him away to the hospital. The Associated Press reporting the shooter is dead, along with one rally attendee. President Biden said he would be speaking to Trump and condemned the violence.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick.
We spoke with the Trump supporter who was 6 rows from the stage.
Just a sad day for America. Just a really sad day for America. The vibe was, was open with prayer. People were united. This is America. This is freedom, regardless of your politics.
In the days that followed, information about the shooter, Thomas Crooks, and other victims at the rally came out.
Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, is identified by the FBI using DNA.
I just know he was bullied. I don't want to say he was an outcast, but he was, you know how kids nowadays, like, he didn't dress like everyone else, so everyone kind of put a target on him. He sat alone in lunch.
Investigators report he had no criminal history. Crooks was a registered Republican who had recently donated a small amount to a progressive cause. Trump's campaign launches a GoFundMe account raising millions for those injured in the shooting. The murdered attendee at Trump's rally is ID'd as an ex-volunteer fire chief and girl dad, Corey Comparator. David Hutch and James Copenhaver were also injured, but are recovering from their wounds.
So lawmakers and Americans alike were wondering how something like this could even happen and who was behind these security failures.
The country.
So before we get into this, right? Because this joint is deep, man. But I wanted to say real quick, right? I had a friend who literally was trying to convince me that this was a stage situation. And I'm like, so you're telling me that, first of all, everybody that's there is in on it, right? And even if they're not, okay. 2 people got injured and 1 got killed, bro. And if you say that they were in on it, then you're saying that this guy is off the grid somewhere that nobody knows about, and because he's in on it and he wants everybody to think that he's dead. You know what I mean? Like, yo, bro, the thing that what you got to do this, come on. And what my whole thing is, what benefit does he have in doing that? What benefit? How does him, one of the most hated people on the planet right now, how does him staging an assassination attempt on himself get him more votes for the election? Make it make sense, bro. It doesn't.
Struggling to understand how a 20-year-old got access to the rooftop a little more than a football field away from where Trump stood on stage, with enough time to fire off deadly shots.
This was a colossal failure on multiple fronts. This should never happen.
There appears to have been a communication breakdown between federal and local agencies. NBC News reporting Secret Service did identify that rooftop as a vulnerability days before the event. A Secret Service spokesman says the roof was local law enforcement's jurisdiction.
There'll have to be, great scrutiny because, another inch and our president would have been dead.
However, Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldinger said the Secret Service was in charge of security outside the venue. CNN sources also saying the Secret Service did not sweep the rooftop prior to the rally.
Where the hell was the aerial visual support? Why was there no helicopter? How the hell is the crowd acting as the freaking counter surveillance operator?
The director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, faced a lot of backlash for the agency's failures.
Republicans calls for the director of the Secret Service to be removed.
She should be fired. She should have been fired Saturday night.
Growing louder.
What does it take to get fired by Joe Biden? It was an absolute security catastrophe.
And on top of that, man, I really truly believe. Now, look, man, you can call it what you want, sexist. You can call it whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But I really truly believe. I believe it was J.D. Vance. It might have been Pete Hegseth. I'm not 100. I can't remember off top right now. But one of them has said that women should not be in combat positions in the military. Right. I truly believe that they shouldn't be police officers that are out in the field, unless they're doing like some traffic stuff and stuff like that. Because now look, I'm not saying that there aren't capable women out there that can do the job. I'm pretty sure that there are tough women, but there are more that are not capable of being in these physical, especially in the military. Like the things that they do in the military, the fitness that you have to have, I just don't see how most of these women are even capable of doing the training. From what I heard, they had to lower the standards of the training so that women can get involved in these military situations. Like I said, That's just my opinion. I'm not saying every single woman is incapable. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure there's some tough women out there that can do the job, bro. But you even look at this, like, come on, bro. It just seems like that, and look, there's incompetent men too. Look at Joe Biden. You know, look at Hakeem Jeffries, and you know, a lot of even some of the Republicans too. You know, but at the end of the day, when it comes to this is beyond crazy. Like beyond crazy, bro. Like how don't you? This is the president of the United States of America, top notch, number one in military spending. Like number one, we spend the most money on military in the world. We top notch. Why wouldn't you make sure that every single, even if it's women, men and women that are in the Secret Service are equipped to do the job? They literally showed a video of the woman fumbling her weapon. She couldn't even put it in a holster. Why? Because she was nervous. She was nervous. She was scared. She wasn't prepared for the moment. See, they get in these positions, and most of the time it's kind of just, you know, you're walking around with the president or politicians that you may be securing, and it's not really much going on most of the time. But you always have to be prepared for that time like this. And they weren't prepared whatsoever.
Prepared this morning to call on President Biden to fire to Director Cheadle.
Tensions running high after GOP senators say top Secret Service and FBI officials ignored their questions on private briefing calls held Wednesday on the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
Kimberly Cheadle was on that call.
Yes.
The call was cut as the questions in the queue were lining up.
That's right.
The senators confronting Director Cheadle at the RNC.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call. Stonewalling. No shame, no concern.
She can run, but she cannot hide.
On the calls, lawmakers were given a timeline of events. At 5:10, law enforcement identifies the shooter as a person of interest. At 5:52, snipers spotted the gunman on the roof. At 6:02, security allows Trump to take the stage.
Bro, hold on, bro. Before they even finish this, at 5:10, bro, literally an hour before, they already had the person of interest. Which means they already saw this guy. At 5:52, literally 42 minutes later, this sniper spotted the gunman on the roof. Why he ain't take him out then? At 5:52. A whole nother 10 minutes goes by, and they allowed Trump to take the stage. What the bro, this is how you know this was a setup. This is how you know that this was a pure setup. Because no, come on, we're talking about the top of the top. This isn't mall security. This isn't even your regular police officer. This is Secret Service. Military style security for the president of the United States. Come on. This just would not happen, bro. These people are strategic, bro. I'm talking about they go through everything. They go through everything. And I'm talking about days in advance. Even, I think it was Joe Rogan, or was it Joe Rogan? One of the podcasters said when Donald Trump came, they came days before. Checking the studio, pressing every single button, making sure it ain't nothing going on. They were literally on point days before. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, bro? This is obviously was a setup, and it's ridiculous, bro.
Take a look at what happened.
At 6:12, the shooter opened fire. Director Cheadle also slammed for the excuse.
Real quick, I want to say, if you hear any big bang in the background, I don't know why, but my neighbors feel like it's still 4th of July for some reason. and they're letting off these big ass fireworks, and you know I can hear them. Hopefully the noise suppression filter blocks it out, but if you hear it, it's just a small little situation.
She gave ABC News as to why snipers were not on that rooftop.
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, you know, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof.
Now, amid these calls to step down, Cheadle has to answer for the Secret Service at a congressional hearing into the shooting.
Will you resign, Director Cheadle? The director of the Secret Service appearing before Congress.
Ridiculous.
Tough questions coming from both sides of the aisle.
Why was he allowed to take the stage with a suspicious person having been identified in the crowd?
Guaranteed to say something that I don't have all the information. Just not here with me, but I'll let you know later.
Secret Service failure even more glaring because Trump was under a heightened security risk due to a credible threat from Iran. Republicans demanding clarification on reports that top agency officials had denied requests made by the agents protecting the former president for more resources.
More than once they asked for additional help and you turned them down. What did they ask for and how many times did you turn them down? Pretty basic questions.
So again, without having all of the details in front of me, sir.
You didn't get briefed on that before you came to this hearing, knowing you were going to get asked that question?
Because Donald Trump is alive, and thank God he is, you look incompetent. If Donald Trump had been killed, you would have looked culpable.
Cheadle ends up resigning after her disastrous congressional hearing just 10 days after the shooting.
I'm glad she did the right thing. Look, our reaction, the immediate reaction to her resignation is that it is overdue. She should have done this at least a week ago.
The second in command, Ronald Rowe, quickly appointed as acting director. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas writing, "I appreciate his willingness to lead the Secret Service at this incredibly challenging moment." Cheadle stepped down less than 24 hours after a disastrous hearing on Capitol Hill where lawmakers pressed her for answers on the security failures at Donald Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
This is not theater. This is not about jockeying. This is about the safety of some of the most highly targeted and valued targets internationally and domestically.
President Biden releasing a statement thanking Director Cheadle for her decades of public service, adding, "As a leader, it takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service."
At this point, people
like the fact that she gets to resign and probably still gets the perks and the money and all of that. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, that's like you at any job. And this is why sometimes this politics shit is slippery slopes, man, because at any job, if you're in a higher position where even in HR where you're dealing with firing and hiring, and somebody that you hired is just incompetent, you know, is making the company lose money, you're getting rid of them. You're getting rid of them. You're not like, you know, we're so happy for you, wishing the best for you, and all the things that you fucked up thus far. It's okay, and you know we really appreciate you here at the company. No, motherfucker, your ass is fired. You gotta go right now. Get out the building.
People are pointing fingers at local law enforcement and the Secret Service who were at the rally. Local law enforcement ended up releasing body cam footage and text messages they sent identifying the shooter before Trump even took stage.
I told them they need to post the guy over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post
Tuesday
over here.
More than an hour and a half before Trump took the stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, a local counter sniper finishing his shift took notice of the shooter, texting colleagues, "He knows you guys are up there." Here is an aerial view of the Trump rally site. You can see right here the stage Trump was standing on. The local counter sniper first spotted the gunman sitting on a picnic table at 4:26 p.m. right here. Another local counter sniper then takes photos of the gunman at 5:14 p.m. on this spot. The local snipers positioned in this building right here. Now, eventually the gunman makes his way to the roof of this building.
Yeah, man, this is crazy, bro. So we all know the story. We watched some of the hearings on everything, but just think about that though, man. This guy was probably local police. Said that he let Secret Service know on Tuesday. This rally, if you remember, it was on a Saturday. So they had 4 or 5 days in advance to know about these locations. And they didn't take them serious. Why? Because it was a sloped roof. What are we talking about? Anyway, on to Charlie Kirk and Meghan Kelly talking about this whole Epstein thing. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about this, and I kind of, I said that Pam Bondi shouldn't have never jumped the gun on this situation, even though Donald Trump did say he was going to release these files and the MLK and also the JFK files, but she jumped the gun. But the way she did it was the way she did it. She literally made it seem like they have all of this evidence, and she made it bigger than what it was. Now, I believe now, looking at that cabinet meeting, and when I thought about it, I'm like, yo, she said, it was just the way she said it, her body language said it all. And I said I was going to probably bring up this body language specialist who went over her in the cabinet meeting and other people, I think Trump and also Caroline Leavitt, when they was talking about it. And I didn't get to see it. I've kind of been busy, and so I'm not going to play it. But when you see her, you could tell she's just trying to make it seem like it's nothing. It's just a bunch of child porn, and that's that. I don't know if he's an agent. I haven't heard anything, and she just trying to make it seem like it's nothing now. But in the beginning, you were trying to be on CNN, and you was trying to get the spotlight and make it seem like you got this bombshell story that's going to break, and everybody is going to be excited about the information that they're going to receive, and then you come with nothing. So Charlie Kirk and Meghan Kelly get into this whole thing. Let's see what they talking about.
Meghan, you're here on a slow news day.
Nothing's going on. Has anyone been on X in the past hour?
They're happy. That's why they haven't
That's
been
right.
on social media.
We'll update you.
Why don't you update them, Meghan?
Well, this is the first big scandal, I'd say, of the Trump administration that's on Team Rational. It's not a fake media scandal like the left tries to create for President Trump every other day. It's one of the right's own making, and it's not going well. And it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Let me just ask you, make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares. I think
A lot. I said a lot. Every hand.
Here's what I think is happening. I don't think President Trump is focused on this. He's focused on a lot of other things which are going great, and he needs to be focused on those other things. Jeffrey Epstein's not the most important thing on his agenda by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he's crushing it on the tariffs, foreign policy, just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. If not Trump, then who? Honestly. Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize after 9 months in office. He had done nothing. He gave a nice speech about Muslims, and they gave it to him. So President Trump should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's all sorts of things he's focused on. I just don't think this has captured his attention quite yet. But it needs to, because it's starting to create a real hornet's nest within the administration. And I've got to be honest, I blame Pam Bondi.
For real.
I'll tell you why, okay? I have nothing, yes, incompetence, yes. I have nothing against Pam Bondi as a human being. I was fine with her nomination and her confirmation, and she's been loyal to the president, and I get that President Trump needs a loyal attorney general. Look what happened with Sessions the first time. He went away, and then the next thing you know, we had the Mueller investigation, and it was a nightmare. But there are a lot of other people who can be loyal and competent in that job. Here, she is the reason that things are unraveling around this story right now that virtually all of the Republican Party cares deeply about. It's also true that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel had questions about Epstein before they took office, okay, before they went into the FBI. But once they joined the FBI, they said nothing. They've kept their mouths shut about Epstein. You have not seen them, except for one joint appearance with Dan and Kash on Fox, running all over the media looking for attention on this, yes, clickbaity story. Who have you seen? Pam Bondi. She has never missed an opportunity to go on television and dangle sweet nothings that might be coming your way. Try to lead you to believe that she's got it, it's on her desk, it's coming tomorrow, you're gonna see something on Epstein. And it was a tease. So you either believe that Pam Bondi was telling the truth then, or that she's telling the truth now, but both cannot be true. She was either lying when she went on Fox News all those times saying, I've got it, we're looking at it, wait until you see it, it's horrible. Or she's lying in her 2-page memo that they released on a Sunday night at the tail end of a holiday weekend to Axios, as if Axios is where we all go for our news. Hell no. She went to someone she knew would not kick the tires on the story, and without signing the memo, dropped it in the dead of night and said, that's it, take the crumbs and be happy. Refused to come out and give a presser. Come out and give a press conference. Stand there for 6 hours to the point where people are dying of boredom. They've asked all their questions. That's how you put a scandal to rest. But she wouldn't even sign her name to it. And I'm telling you, I have dollars to donuts. It's going to come out that there was internal consternation over that memo and whose name did and did not go on it and who it was and was not behind it. And so now you have a situation where her words on the record on Fox News are diametrically opposed to what she put in this memo. She's embarrassed the president. She's embarrassed herself. And Dan and Kash, to the extent they've had to sign off on that, let's understand the FBI is controlled by the DOJ. FBI is subservient to DOJ. She's their boss. That they're in this position where the only comments they've made on the record as administration officials have been, we don't think he killed himself, and we don't think he got murdered. We think he did kill himself. We've looked at the tapes, and Kash to Joe Rogan saying, if I saw all these tapes of Jeffrey Epstein with little girls, trust me, I would show you, but I haven't seen it. Okay, so what they're saying now is consistent with what they've said since they joined the office, and that is one of the many reasons why this scandal is squarely on her, and I'm telling you, I'm of the cable news universe. I've seen it happen a million times. People get thirsty. They love to see themselves on television. They love to see their names in the Klieg lights. They love the attention. They love the little emails and texts and tweets and thumbs up they get after their appearance, and they can feel their star rising. And listen.
Yo, I feel the same way. And I feel like that was what, because even when, if you, and her point is so true, because even at the cabinet meeting, when you seen her, Donald Trump said, yo, are we still talking about Epstein? Like, all of the stuff that's going on. You know, the travesty in Texas with the flood and the children that died and all the people that lost everything. And then, you know, all the good things that are going on with the tariffs and this and that. And we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein? And he said, look, do you want to talk about this? Like, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Like, you know, like she loves the spotlight. You could tell, man. And Meghan Kelly is 100% right, bro. She wanted the spotlight. And listen, and this is why I do believe that there is, you know, evidence of this whole Epstein situation. And there's people that's involved that's in high positions in politics and everything else. I showed you the video where I forget he was a lawyer, I believe, who said that, look, I got a gag order, so I can't speak on it. But listen, he put his right hand to God and was saying, look, I know he knew information on this because they tried to say he was involved and he cleared himself. I guess he had some evidence proving that, look, I don't got nothing to do with this. And he basically got off on it, I believe, because he had a gag order. So I'm assuming that he had a court situation. And, you know, it came to find out that he had no involvement with Jeffrey Epstein and all of this shit that he had going on. Now, but he said that there was evidence, and I forget the channel, but he asked him. It was Stephen Gardner, but he was playing footage from another channel, and He's not somebody that I'm real familiar with, but I've seen him before. But anyway, he told him, he asked him, he said, is it people we know? Yeah, it's people we know. Like, so obviously there is something there, but they're not, for whatever reason, you know, and this doesn't make Trump look good neither, man, especially when you said that you were going to release this. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't care about it. You know, I mean, if, you know, children were involved and stuff like that, obviously that's sick shit. You know, obviously, you know, from, you know, when you hear the things that possibly went on, of course, I don't agree with it whatsoever. Like, totally not with it at all. But at the end of the day, there's more, right now, there's more pressing issues. And if people were involved, they do need to be held accountable, for sure. So just drop it. You know what I mean?
Internally, I'm told there's a bit of like a power struggle between Pam Bondi and another female administration official on who's going to be the top dog. You know, we've got a great bench behind President Trump. We've got JD, we've got Marco, you know, we've got Hegseth. We've got a lot of people who could potentially be next up. But there are some women who've got their eye on that role too. And I've been
maybe
told
one of
she's
them speaking at this event.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm too happy a person.
No, I know. I was talking about someone tomorrow, so that might be speaking at this.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Okay.
but Meghan, you make a very astute point, and let me add to it, which is that she also brought in some of our best influencers, people that I care about deeply. Jack Posobiec, who's incredible, Libs of TikTok, Chaya, DC Drano.
Yeah.
And she gave them these binders, and she humiliated them.
Yeah.
And you guys know what I'm talking about? Where she like did this stuff with the binders?
This?
And
Yes.
you guys were upset, but you shouldn't be upset, the influencers. They were handed these binders like there was something incredible in them.
It is what you would do to an enemy. It would have been a brilliant operation had she loathed them and been looking to undermine them. The trick would have been perfect had this been Joe Biden's White House doing this to some of President Trump's most loyal supporters and media advocates. What happened was they invited all of them there to say hi to the vice president, to say hi to the president. Sure, they all went, of course. Who wouldn't go to the White House to say hello to Trump? They didn't expect anything on Epstein. So they went, they said hello, and before they knew it, they were pulled into a room with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and she had made the binders. She bragged about making the cover sheet that read EpsteinFiles, Phase 1, and she handed them out. And what Liz Wheeler, who was there, told me was that she told them, there's not that much in here, but like another trove is coming. I'm gonna get it from the FBI, but like, here's Phase 1. Flash forward 14 hours earlier to when she was on with Jesse Waters on Fox News saying, oh, you're gonna see some Epstein documents tomorrow. She knew they were bullshit. She knew that there was nothing in there. She told the influencers when she gave it to them, there's really nothing in here. I'm gonna try to get you more. And in the meantime, then they funneled them out the back of the White House where all the press corps was. And the influencers are standing there with these binders. They didn't even know they were there for Epstein, and they looked foolish through no fault of their own. The only fault was they trusted her.
And these are some of our best people that we should have their back. Liz Wheeler's amazing, Jack Posobiec.
Yes.
And they got...
She dinged their credibility for no reason.
100%. And did they ever get an apology for that?
No, and the only way of making it up, trust me, as somebody in the media who relies on sources, the only way she could have made up for this enormous error, and truly to this day, if you believe she knew there was nothing in there, then I don't know why she did it. She just did it to make them look like fools for fun of it. But the only way she could have made up for it was to give them a scoop. That's the only way of fixing it. When you have the scoop, when you do get the second tranche, you've got to leak something to them. You've got to let them break something. She never did, but she continued to tout that she had something. She was gonna get that FBI file. Then she got caught by James O'Keefe on hidden camera saying she had tens of thousands of videos of Epstein and little children. It was like, what? Well, we never heard that. We heard he was into the barely legal type, the like 18-year-olds who look 14, but we didn't hear about children. And then because she was caught once again shooting off her mouth inappropriately. Attorneys General of the United States normally say nothing. They say nothing.
Merrick Garland had one press conference a year.
Yes, nothing. Bill Barr, you couldn't get him to speak or say anything. Even Eric Holder was less chatty than this. So she got caught on camera, and she decided to cover up the James O'Keefe slip by then running to a real camera and being like, there are tens of thousands of videos of the children, and I'm announcing it all. So once again, she didn't give that to the influencers. And then she slides it into this memo.
So
like
I have a dumb question. Maybe it's not dumb. So it's so she had doubled down on the videos. Is that correct, Meghan?
Yes, now she's tripled down.
Epstein was not the perp in every one of those videos.
So because they've been so ambiguous,
no, but like,
we're
let's
not
just
sure.
think about this. Unless we're led to believe that Epstein himself personally raped all these kids, children, or whatever, then isn't the statute of limitations on child rape like basically infinite?
Well,
so then why are we not indicting the people that were doing the raping that we have on video? Like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
No, you know this better than I do.
All right, so so they was saying some words that might get my video took down, and they was kind of saying too many of them. But so anyway, we're gonna move on from this because I kind of already talked about it. You know what I mean? I kind of already gave my opinion on this whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. I only wanted to play it because, it's definitely getting. This is like a big thing right now. Like everybody is talking about it. That I follow, that I look to get information from, and videos from my channel. Like everybody is talking about this, and my view is more like Barry Cunningham on it. It's just like it's bigger things going on right now. Does it need to come out? Yeah. Does the JFK and the MLK things need to come out? Yes. But them things are 60 years ago. Like they're super old. I mean, none of this stuff makes anything domestic here in America look good. And I think that's the downside to everything. And I believe that that's the reason. I think that's one of the elements that Donald Trump is thinking about. It's like, yes, we can expose, a lot of people that are corrupt and doing things, but also it's the element of how does this make America look good? Maybe you can say that, we cleaning up the bullshit and we getting rid of all the corruption and all of that. That would be great, But that's the only way that I see this. This is the only way that I see this having any positive outcomes. Is if you play the card of, we cleaning up the government and we doing things the right way. Because he is making steps to make sure that the elections are fair and free from corruption and cheating and stuff like that. So he's taking steps to make sure that elections aren't going to end up like 2020, and that's good. But at the same time, it's like there's just a lot going on right now, and I just believe that the average American person is thinking about prices coming down, rent going down, even though we know how these things work. You know what I mean? They're going to try to keep them because there's a lot of people making money off of these travesties that's going on. Like in Texas, I guarantee you, because these people lost their homes and things like that. So now they got to go stay in hotels. How much you want to bet that the hotels that are in Texas that were, let's just say, $115 a night, they're now like $180, $200 a night because they're taking advantage of the people's situation. Instead of it going down to, $75 a night so you can help the people, they're going to raise it to try to take advantage of people suffering, man. And unfortunately, that's just what goes on a lot, because it's greed, man. It's greed. So, but let's get into this Candace Owens situation. It's interesting, man. Like, listen, I'm from America. I live in America. I don't give two shits about Macron, the president of Paris. But at the same time, it's an interesting story. It just goes to show you how much these people will cover up situations, and while they're doing it. I mean, listen, I'm totally against anything, and I don't even want to really talk about them type of things because I don't believe in it. What you do is what you do. What you believe in is what you believe in. That's your choice. God gave us free will to do as we please, and he hopes that we do right with it. But listen, we're in a time where obviously the LGBT community and all of these things are like out now. It's not like a thing that is in the closet and people aren't talking, are afraid to say it, So I don't see why they, were even lying this long, Let's get into this story. It's a little interesting. We're not going to spend too much time on it. Oh, and if you want to check out that whole interview, that whole sit down with Meghan Kelly and Charlie Kirk, go to Charlie Kirk's page. Maybe even Meghan Kelly has it, but that's a Turning Point USA event. So more than likely, just go to Charlie Kirk's page and you can check that whole video out. It's dope. Charlie Kirk is dope. He definitely is somebody I'll follow, and I like his content. He definitely gives some good information, man. So definitely check him out. Definitely subscribe. Anybody that I post, man, make sure y'all subscribe to their channel. If you aren't already subscribed, subscribe to their channels and support their channels also. And I truly appreciate that. Let's get into this.
I'm not gonna let you get away with this. I want my money. It's gonna be like that Family Guy scene where Stewie's like beating up Brian. I want my money. Where's my money? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it started, and this is how it's going. Check out this headline. We are trending all over France. This is huge news. The women who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation because that's how the truth works.
So there it is. A woman who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man are women who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man cleared of defamation.
Well, that's a confirmation in my book. I don't know. Am I supposed to think it's debunked still?
So Candace Owens did a whole series on this. Here, Deja.
Look at her.
Deja dude, breaking news. Brigitte Macron loses in court.
Oh shit, my bad. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Anyway, look. So now we're on to this. Or I don't know if you heard this part, but I'm on to Candace Owens' story about this whole Brigitte Macron. I just seen the name. But anyway, she's talking about Brigitte Macron, and I was saying how these motherfuckers from Paris is funny how they be trying to make everything fancy. Like if you look at the spelling, it's Brigitte Macron, but Brigitte Macron. But anyway, yo, bro, look at this motherfucker. Bro, you know that's a man. We have all seen wigs, bro. And look, I ain't never see too many bald-headed white bitches. You feel me? So, at the end of the day, that's a wig, bro. That is a wig and built like a man, dog. This is a man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And when she did a whole story. She did a whole story on this whole scandal or whatever you want to call it. And she has like a whole, I don't know if it's a series or she has a whole episode on it. I'm not 100, I've seen it. And she broke down everything, all the information that she got. So anyway, let me, I think, matter of fact, let's just see.
It's a dude.
It.
Yeah, I think, look, Trump calling her and asking her to ease off this story, to me, is confirmation of the story automatically, because I've never heard of anything like this in my life.
That's a fact.
So some people still couldn't put it together after Brigitte Macron gave that hard right cross to her husband on a plane. sending him back several feet. That wasn't a girl boss. Turns out that was an actual guy throwing a punch.
Well, it was a mush. It was a classic mush. I just watch footage of her sitting down, and you tell me. I feel like
So here's Piers Morgan defending Macron against Candace Owens, and let's watch.
This question of
real quick, right? Because I don't want to run the whole video back because I was muted, I believe, in the beginning of the video. But basically, and it might play, I'm not 100% sure. Like I told y'all, I like watching the videos live with y'all. So, it's new for me, it's new for you, and we're going to react to it. But it said that 3 women, I guess, that were doing this whole story over there in Paris, I believe, who were journalists who were doing the story on how Brigitte Macron is actually a dude, and basically they I believe they're gonna break all that down, so I'm not gonna speak on that. But it said that they were basically they had a defamation suit against them, and basically they won it. So why else would you win unless it's true? Because if it really was, it's good. Because if I say something about you that's defamation, that is wrong, and I come after you for it because you're in the public and you're speaking on me, right? Then you would lose, and I would have to pay you money because I said something that was incorrect about you, right? But like he said in the beginning, when she came out and said that Trump came to her, because I seen this, Candace Owens said that Trump called her, not came to her, but called her and said, yo, lay off the Macron situation. So more than likely, because I seen him come to, I can't remember if Trump went out there or he came out here, but they were together, and he probably told Trump like, yo, man, can you please tell Candace Owens to chill the fuck out, because my dude ain't happy. So anyway, let's get back to it.
about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You produce zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man,
Yeah,
she's a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
Where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from. And first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years. Right. And they teamed up with genealogists and they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous, it's awful, I can't believe that she's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go find the articles that were written by the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists. And while they were working, let me finish a statement, Piers. Okay. While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the secret service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones, they held them, they wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece. And what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced, that Brigitte Macron lived as a man for 30 years and then transitioned at the age of 30. So he's trying to tell you this is crazy, this is wacky. Why don't you just go pursue a primary source? Well, I'm not the primary source. It would be very easy to dispute this. All Brigitte Macron would have to do is produce a single photo of her in the first 30 years of her life, or to go on a little walk with her brother, who she alleges that she is not. She refuses to do either. She's suing people, and the one photo that they keep producing is a photo.
Yo, just think about that though, right? You say that the person that they alleging is your brother, but yet you refuse to bring your brother out and show your brother. This is my brother right here. This is him. right? And then on top of that, they said that she, like she just said, there's no photographs of her, him, before 30, you know? So, yeah, that's crazy, man. Candace Owens be going down these motherfucking. Y'all gotta go check out that whole series she did on Kamala Harris. That was dope. And Candace Owens is dope, man. It's certain things with all of these people that I may not agree with, but for the most part, I fuck with them. And Candace Owens is a person that I fuck with. She definitely be talking facts. So make sure y'all definitely go subscribe to her for sure.
Up her daughter to phone
Let me
that
get
has
a
been
word
photoshopped.
in, please. Brigitte Macron, as you know, has a libel
now you
trial
want a word.
against Natasha Ray, who made the claims that the French First Lady was born a man called Jean-Michel Trogner.
And she just lost that court case, Piers.
Is this going to be like a Piers Gaza moment where he has to say, not only do you have to acknowledge that Gaza is a horrific crime, he's got to now acknowledge she has a wiener? Is that what we're going to see?
We'll see. Here we go.
It's due to take place imminently, and we will get to the bottom of this. And I'll bet you, why don't we have like £100,000 bet that it establishes beyond any doubt to a charity of your choice and mine, $100,000, make it dollars, right now.
Why would you even make that bet if you're not even
any
sure?
doubt that she was born a woman? Do you accept that bet?
Make it rain, Piers.
Let's do what a grand American, ain't it?
Okay. Because look, first and foremost, 100,000 pounds. Can we look up what that means in U.S. dollars? Let's see.
A lot more.
Over 135. Oh. Wow, $136,000. I'll round it up. Let's round it up to $1 there. 136,000 U.S. dollars are mine.
The
Piers.
pound
I'm not
is
gonna let you get
fell.
away with this. I want my money. It's gonna be like that Family Guy scene where Stewie's like beating up.
Wait, let me play this again. What did she say? She wants her money?
Anyway, man. Paris, she want her money, dog. Make sure she get that. Man. It's crazy, bro. I just be thinking in my mind, like that's some deep shit, though. A dude that she claims is her brother. I wonder if. So if that's actually the brother, then does the brother have a sister? It's mad confusing, dog. It's mad confusing, but I'm just confused. Like with all the stuff with all the, like, bro, they're with all of this, homosexual and LGBTQ shit. So why not just come out with it? Bro, you can see, bro, that's a dude, bro. That is a dude, man. Like I said, man, I've never seen a bald-headed white woman. Like, obviously there's probably white women that have cut their hair off on purpose. But what I'm saying is, you just don't, like, people normally wear wigs that, hair doesn't grow, a lot and stuff like that, may have whatever. But you wear wigs to cover up, whatever. That is a man. That is a wig. And he built like a man, like a fucking skinny man. One of them motherfuckers from Paris. Them motherfuckers be skinny over there. It's just, Candace Owens is dope, though. But that's a true journalist, bro. She is a person that will literally go down the rabbit hole about some shit. She is not a person that you want to really beef with, because you seen what she did to Kamala Harris. And my whole thing is this. Piers Morgan is trying to dispute Candace Owens, but who are they? No, with Kamala Harris. See, they live in France. Or Paris or whatever. Kamala Harris lives in the United States of America. And I haven't seen anything where Kamala Harris is ever, and Candace Owens is big. She's not like some small little journalist. No, she's well known around the world. Everybody knows Candace Owens. You know what I mean? So the fact that I've never heard Kamala Harris dispute anything that Candace Owens has said about her. And she had a whole series, not an episode. She had a whole series about Kamala Harris. And she was one of the people that convinced me for sure, even though I already knew myself, but she really convinced me that, because I watched that whole series about, she went down the rabbit hole for real. And she actually had, it was somebody who, what was it? Was it Kamala Harris's? I forget, man. I'm not even gonna go watch Candace Owens, that whole series she had on Kamala Harris. It was dope, man. But yeah, man, this your boy SL550, man. This the NGLA podcast. If you fuck with the boy content, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for sure, and hit that notification button if you want to be notified the next time I drop a dope ass video, which will be tomorrow, man. Understand something, people. This is just my opinion, and more than likely, I'm going to give you facts. I'm giving you facts. You know what I mean? And if I'm wrong about something, type it in the comments and maybe we can debate about it. But this your boy SL550.